Hey guys, MLMan here for another late night deck profile, and as you can see from the title, we are updating Ulforce for EX05. Um, so you might be wondering why I decided to make a deck profile on this specifically when I could just be updating Metal Garuru. Well, mainly because A, my Metal Garuru build is not really working at the moment, and B, I wanted something that was like not really meta, but at the same time it was using meta, like basically one of the meta decks to help boost it basically. And looking through all the decks that basically came out of EX05, especially in Japan, one really did strike me, and it was specifically the Ulforce variant of Garuru. Basically, the concept of the deck is taking, the base Garuru engine, which is, going up into the level 5 X, and then going into Ulforce to do multiple checks and potentially bouncing their entire board in the process. So I actually kind of like that because I wanted a deck that was as fast as Garuru, but didn't really use Metal Garuru as much. Because at the moment, I'm kind of like the deck just isn't working for me for some reason. Maybe it's my ratios, I'm not sure, but I'll have to go back to it eventually and fix it after the restrictions hit in March. Same thing with this deck. I will have to change it, but this is mainly for the next like 2-3 weeks before the restrictions hit. But so far in testing, it's pretty good. And even once we get the restrictions and we get BT15, this deck is still really, really good. Basically, the Gabu X's get replaced by the old one, which doesn't really hurt that much because the main thing we're searching with is the training cards. And then along that, losing the Guru X doesn't really hurt as much because we still have the old Garuru X basically, and we can basically do the stack easily no matter what. We still have one Bukamon for jamming as well, and we will be having to go back to Sunomon, but we're getting so much more. Like, we're getting a new Garuru, we're getting a new Gabu, we're getting a new Metal Garuru, we're getting also a Were Garuru Ace. So the deck basically can just adapt no matter what, so pretty cool. But yeah, let me get into deck profile so I can show you what I mean. So this being still before the restriction list, we are running 4 of the new Bukamon. Bukamon is still really strong. Even in EX05, this giving jamming for free in a blue deck that can stack really high is really strong, and you have to run 4 of this and to only run 4 of these to get that consistency. That's it for the eggs. For level 3s, we are, of course, since we're running the Garuru engine, we are running 4 of the Gabus from started at 8 because they give plus 1,000 if you have 8 or more cards. This doesn't really matter when you have jamming, but sometimes it does because it helps you punch over certain things. So, it's there to help. Then we run 5 of the Gabumon from BT5 for search power to grab Omni and basically any Garuru card we have in our deck. It also hits the purple one, which is really nice. 4 of the Gabu X. Shame this is going to 1 because it's really strong, but I can see why they're hitting it because of the protection and the fact that you can grab 2 Garuru cards, which is really strong. Also, the fact is that it gets its effect on play and when Digivolving, and it evolves for 0 on Gabu, so that's really broken. That's basically all the rookies we run. We run exactly the 12 because, as you know, this deck is blue, and blue likes to see consistent pulls, so we sit at basically the standard ratio of 12. For level 4s, we run 4 Garurumons. We're still running this until the new BT15 one comes out. Once that comes out, we're replacing this with the new one because it has a better inherit, basically. But this one's still really strong. It gives you that draw, and it's not once per turn, so it's really powerful. Then we run 4 Garuru X. Shame this is also getting hit to 1, but I can see why. It's really strong. The fact that you can just gain a memory for free, and it's not once per turn. So if you do multiple Garuru X's, you can gain more memory and draw more cards at the same time. Plus, its inherent allows it to protect your guy without having to detach sources like you used to have to. Both do basically the same exact effect for inherit. So if you have 2, you're basically protecting twice, which is really strong. Then we run 2 of the Garuru from BT5 because sometimes we like to gain memory and gain that extra 1,000 boost. That's basically all for the level 4s. We only run 10, which is the standard, so we will usually see this consistently, thankfully. If not, it's whatever, but it happens. It's how ratios work. For level 5s, we run 5 of the Were Garuru from the starter deck, the purple starter deck. This one is basically our replacement for the one that got hit to 1. This one requires you to discard, but it's fine, and it has a really good inherent of deleting a level 4 or lower by discarding a card, so pretty strong. Then we run 3 of the Garuru X from BT9. You're probably wondering why I'm not running the new one, because it gives you more unsuspending. With the fact that we're running Ulforce as our level 6, that one doesn't really work as well. I still run 1, but most of the time you want to see this to go into the play rather than going through with the other X antibody, because that unsuspend effect only works for anything with Garuru or Omni. So we run this. Then we run 1 of the Garuru, the one that got hit, because it's really good. Then, of course, as I mentioned, we're running 1 Garuru X antibody. Mainly, it's because sometimes you do end up on Omni, so it does help with that extra swing, which is really nice. But aside from that, it's basically just trashing 2 to set up for the effects of these 2. So, really strong. But yeah, as you can see, we're running exactly 8 level 5s, standard for any stack deck. Then for level 6s, of course, this is where the deck just completely takes a hard right turn. We run 4 Ulforces, the original one from BT 11, the one that lets you play Tamers repeatedly and unsuspend each time if you do it correctly. This guy is really strong in this deck because right now we still have access to jamming, and we can swing for like 3 to 4 times with the Garuru engine. So if you have enough trainings on the board, you could basically just make this like free. And if you have Arena, you gain memory off of playing the Arena after you do your unsuspending. So it's really strong. You have to run 4. This is like basically your main guy for removal and basically swinging as hard as possible, aside from the level 5s here. So gotta run 4. Then to kind of usually this card is basically to finish off. It's to basically unsuspend Ulforce, and you basically get to swing again by unsuspending it. So basically this is just your win game. But yeah, you have to run at least 2. I know some builds run 1 or 1, maybe 2 or 3, but I like 2 because you see it consistently. And usually, how during testing, I've noticed I've just usually just kept 1, and then I just discarded the other one to help fuel the protection. So it's not too bad. 2 is just so you can see it consistently and use it for discard fodder. So yeah. That's all for the level 6s. For level 7s, we only run 1, and that is obviously the Omni. Omni Blitz is still really strong, and it helps finish games, so you have to run at least the 1 copy. And basically, both your only this Goblimon searches it, but this one searches just Garuru or X antibody, so you basically can still get it regardless. That's basically all the Digimon for the deck. The rest are options and tamers, but we don't really run that many either. It's mainly just the Digimon that basically take up most of this deck, but the options and tamers basically help facilitate a few things. For example, we are running 4 mental trainings because this is a blue deck, and we can basically grab almost everything except for the Omni and the purple Garuru. But aside from that, we can grab everything, and it helps us reduce costs for evolution. It's really strong, so you have to run 4. Then we run 1 X antibody protoform. This is mainly to make the Ulforce X 0 cost, which actually can make your plays break or not, because potentially you could be passing turn or not. So sometimes I've actually been at 0, and I've had to play this to actually evolve this for games. So this is actually really crucial now. Plus, if your guy dies, it's kind of like an analog boy. You basically you get some benefit off of it dying. So let's say you're missing that 1 piece in hand or something, you can grab it from underneath the source. So pretty solid. That's basically all the option cards we run. I know it kind of seems weird coming from a guy who likes security control or just security bombs in general to be running so few like security bombs, but most of the time you're going to be using Ulforce to just wipe their board anyway, so you don't really need it as much. For Tamers, we run 4 Renas, of course, being an Ulforce deck. This one is busted, gives blocker evade on play, and in all turns when a Vidramon is suspended, you basically get to activate their when Digivolving, which means they get to play another Tamer and unsuspend, so really strong. Then the last card we play in the deck is Davis. We run 4 copies because A, he helps us search, and of course he sets our memory, and he's another Tamer for Ulforce to basically play out. So really, really strong. This deck, The reason why you see in the thumbnail that I have like Zex Marquise is because literally it feels like piloting like the tall geese, because you're basically flying, like you're going so fast that they can't keep up. I've been able to swing for 3 or 4 with this, and then another 3 to 4 with this if I have the tamers in hand. So potentially you're basically swinging for 6 no matter what. So that's really crazy. And with the Omni at the end, you're basically guaranteed 7 hits if you do it correctly. So pretty strong deck, pretty fast deck too, which is why I wanted to build it. Um, Aside from that, yeah, that's basically the deck. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the deck, and it's still a template. It's a work in progress, so feel free to make any changes if you decide to net deck this. Aside from that, I'll see you guys next time.